Right, hello everyone. Can you let me know in the chat if you can hear me? I'm 10 seconds in front of you guys, so it might take, that 10 seconds or whichever it is. Just waiting to see if you guys can definitely hear me. Perfect, sweet, let's go for it. Okay, so as usual, we'll go through the on-chain data, which I'll be honest with you, has changed slightly over the last... it was going well up until the Fed meeting, and the Fed meeting it changed slightly as well. Some parts of it are very good, some parts of it aren't very good. It's a real mixed bag at the moment. The type of accumulation that's being done is good. Some people are also selling, but there's accumulation by cohorts we don't really want to see. So it's a real mixed bag at the moment. It's very, very difficult to call. But I'm going to give you my full breakdown, and we're going to try and come to an overall conclusion at the end. And what we will do is we'll come up with 2 or 3 potential conclusions, and we'll assign odds to each one, so we know what are the percent chances of each one are to play out, and therefore we can allocate ourselves effectively with that. Right, so the first thing we start with the exchange net position change, the amount of bitcoins flowing, or the net change of bitcoins flowing in or out of exchanges. Red spikes is good, it's what we want to see. It's more bitcoin coming out of the exchanges, so as in being put into cold storage wallets for people to hold, accumulate, store, blah blah blah. Green is bad, it means more bitcoin going into exchanges, and therefore the likelihood of the bitcoin being transferred from cold storage to exchanges is because those users want to sell them. So yeah, we've had a nice red spike here, and we've seen a slower level of accumulation. This might be, let me zoom in slightly more. This might be to do with the fact that a lot of the sentiment is still bearish. And with that, as the sentiment is bearish, you're not going to see the accumulation be as aggressive as it, perhaps should be. But what we will look at and we'll try and figure out is who is accumulating, because we want to see the big boys are accumulating. That's the overall aim. Is everyone petrified? Is everyone fearful? As I look at crypto Twitter, everyone is screaming that, we're still going to go uploads in the new year. We might have a 3-month bear market, blah, blah, blah. We want to see the big guys accumulating. So let's dive into it and see. The first thing we'll look at is the exchange balance percent, which has had a slight tick up. Just waiting for it to load. Yeah, it's had a slight tick up. So we'll zoom out on this so you can see the grand picture. So the amount of circulating supply being left on exchanges has been decreasing. So, if the demand stays the same, the supply on exchanges is less and less and less overall, you're going to have demand outweigh the supply, the price will go up. But we've had a slight uptick here. And with that uptick, we want to see it just to be something like this. Even this is quite steep. We want to end up seeing it just be almost a relief selling of such. We want to see it end up turning back round again and coming back down. But let's see what we get. I will also go through the on-chain stuff for Ethereum, because I'll be honest with you guys, Bitcoin is okay. Ethereum or Bitcoin, can potentially go the way we want it to go, and there's decent odds of that happening. Ethereum is not so good at this moment in time, to be brutally honest with you. But let's stay on Bitcoin for now. So if we look at whale map, the blue bubbles show, so this is purchases of 1 to 10,000 Bitcoins at a time. So the bigger the blue bubble, the more Bitcoin was purchased at that point in time. So as we can see down here, if you look on the bottom right hand corner, this big blue bubble is 167,000 Bitcoin purchased. It was actually 250,000 at the time, so they've obviously offloaded whatever that is, 83,000. We can see here we've started accumulating, and there isn't the sell. So the latest one is big as well. So look, 118,000 on the 16th. It's the 17th today. So that was literally yesterday. So you'd like to think the big boys are starting to think about not aggressively gearing up here, but they're starting to at least thinking about gearing up, which is good because it shows they're in the direction we want everything to go, rather than them be offloading all their Bitcoin. Let's look at whale outflows. So this is done on a day-to-day basis. So the bubbles are small, it's not a problem. These bubbles are quite big, but look at the scale. Look in the bottom right-hand corner and look at the Bitcoins going out. She had 730, 100, 00, 400, 3. We actually do have a 6,000 one there, but overall they're quite small. 700s, 400s, 600s, 6,000 is like huge for this. Then you saw on the inflows, you had 118,000. You're 20 times more. So you'd like to think that this isn't too much of a worry. If I keep scrolling backwards, it's pretty much the same each day. I mean, this is like a big day. 3,000, 5,000, 800, 250, 450, 100. So yeah, that's not concerning at all for us at this moment in time, to be honest with you. Let's go back to exchange net position change, and we'll look at wallet balances. So we want to see the little fish, the small guys, not accumulating. We want them to be scared. Just checking the connection is okay. Yep, I think we're okay. We want the little guys to be scared. So we want to see that the small wallet balances, 1 and 10, is going downwards, which at this moment in time we're actually not getting. Look, we're seeing them spike up, which shows that they're sort of, starting to accumulate. Especially here, we're seeing it really spike. Where down here, we saw people really panic, which is exactly what you want. Yeah, so this is probably a negative sign for now. Just checking people, I'll carry on talking, but can you guys let me know if the quality of the video is any good or not? Connection is good? Okay, cool. Let's look at balance of 10 Bitcoin or more. So now you're starting to look in the sort of like 500, 600k range. Well, you're not now, it's now the 470k range. Again, a slight uptick, but some sort of inconsistency here. They're, a bit sort of hesitant almost. So let's look at the 100 Bitcoin. You're now looking at the $5 million mark. And so overall, it's an uptrend with not some de-risking. You can say de-risking, but they're not coming off. They're not like significantly stepping off the gas. You're not seeing liquidity come out, which is okay. The 1K has pretty much stayed the same. This is a pretty boring metric now, to be honest with you. But the good part I like here is so when the price is down a lot, you start getting the upticks of these wallets beginning to accumulate. So look here, between mid-September and the end of September, when price was going down quite a bit, 50 odd K, 52K down to 40K, you had them accumulating. We're now starting to see this uptick again. So that's quite nice to see also. But I mean, you did have them upticking. You have had them upticking all the way down pretty much, and now we're starting to hopefully rebound here. Let's look at the 10Ks. So we want the big guys to be accumulating. So we want these to be growing. So this is probably the best metric in terms of confidence for us. I'm just seeing that the stream quality is not that good. Could someone let me know if it's okay? Okay, someone said connection is all good. Okay, I'll just carry on. If the connection goes bad, please can you let me know and I'll try and figure it out. But for now, I think we're okay. But no, this metric is good so far. I'd want to see the price perhaps have one last wick down. If it did have one last wick down in price, I mean, and we saw these, so the 1Ks and the 10Ks, we saw them, steep upwards, go upwards quite sharply. That would be really, really, really positive. So that's the sort of signs that we're looking for from the big boys. In terms of, we've done wallet balances. In terms of the lifespan, so the old guys, the long-term guys, the whales, have they been selling? Have the short-term guys been selling? The selling has mostly been done by the 1 to 6 month guys, so that's pretty good. The 1 to 2 year guys have been really stagnant, absolutely nothing, which is great. 2 to 3 year the same, and 3 to 5 year the same. So that's all good. But I'm not going to go through all of that because it's not changed from the last stream I've done. We will look at, just finding it now. Oh, it's here, sorry. Okay, this data is new, which is why they only give us so much. So this has started to stay at a pretty normal level, which is okay. On some exchanges, it has actually picked up though. It doesn't actually show it here because it shows a mean, and I think the mean is weighted more heavily to Binance, which has people actually going more into open interest, where I think FTX and Deribit are still showing low amounts, which is good. But let's leave that one for now. Hi, just going through my. Okay. So this is a very interesting one. So this is the spot ETF at the moment, which has been approved in Canada. So sorry. So with this spot ETF, obviously in America there's a lot of debate as to why spot ETF hasn't been approved, and they're just behind the curve. They just haven't approved it. But I think there's one in Canada, there's one in sort of Singapore, and there's like 2 others not in sort of major countries. But obviously the main one is the American one. So that's what we're all waiting for. But the Canada one is definitely the one that's the biggest until the American one is approved. We don't know when it will be approved. It'll be some point in the next however long, but it will be approved at some point in the future. But as you can see with the Canadian one here, we've had large inflows of Bitcoin into the ETF whilst price has been going down. So this is a really positive sign as well. So yeah, this is good. So there are a lot of good things there, but there is also some contrasting information. I mean, Ethereum is just pretty shocking, to be honest. It's not shocking, but it's not great. I mean, I'm waiting for this to load. We've actually gone green over the last few days. But I have said in previous streams, the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is when Bitcoin goes down in a bull market, the big guys tend to accumulate it. So you start to see these exaggerated red spikes. But on Bitcoin, in Ethereum, they accumulate on small dips, or they accumulate in on its way up, and then they accumulate a bit heavier onto the small dips. So even in there, they're selling in there, and you see they start accumulating as it's going up, which is just really weird. So even here, it's a bit of an accumulation, and it's now turned. They've started accumulating, and then they start selling off into the high. So it almost seems like quick flips. But let's look at the exchange balance. So that's the difference between the way Bitcoin is accumulated and the way Ethereum or Ether is accumulated. So again, here we've seen an uptick there, which is not great on the percent balance on exchanges. Let's look. I'm trying to go through this quickly, so I want to go through a lot of the charts. I know that's what you guys like. Let's look at the 10Ks. That's the most important, and it's not great. So yeah, it's starting to dip downwards, but it's move that back. But yeah, it's actually just not that. It's just a hard metric to actually use, but yeah, it's not positive. It's not overly negative. It's just not great. But let's go back to Bitcoin because there's one more which is really important. Come on. Okay. Okay. So the adjusted SOPR is the SOPR ignoring all outputs with a lifespan of less than 1 hour. So what this means is, and what this measures, is the cost basis for the average coins in the market. So when the orange line or the orange graph line is above this black 1 value, that means that coins are being sold in profits. If it dips below, the orange line dips below the horizontal black line, that means the cost basis for the Bitcoins is at that level of 1. So, if the market goes way higher and you get new buyers coming in, this 1 value will increase. So that's moment in time, the average cost basis, it's not saying, but because it changes all the time. But this is where it is right now. So we're basically at that cost basis now, which is 47 and a bit thousand. So what you see is people booking profits above the line, and below the line, they're selling. So what you want to see is in bull markets, this orange graph line bounce off the black line. Because what that indicates is, as people are in profit and coming down, and they're coming towards a break-even level, You want to see that they're saying, you know what, I'm not selling, I don't want to sell, and they just hold it, which is when you start seeing price turn around, because there's not the level of supply going into the market because people just aren't selling. And you see this orange line bounce off the value. When it goes below, you start seeing people being willing to sell at losses. So when they're selling at losses, this is not good for us just in general. So you want to have that conviction in the market that it's going to rebound and go higher. At this moment, so you saw here that in September, we bounced perfectly off it, which was good to see. Here we're sort of struggling. You want to see it reclaim and go higher. So this is an important metric that we'll have to track. But let's move on from that and we'll go to the charts. Just see if I've forgotten anything else. Oh, something important to mention. The top 200 Bitcoin wallets have brought in 96,000 Bitcoin in December, and they released 26,000. So for the top 200 wallets, they're plus 70,000 Bitcoin for the month of December so far. So, make of that stat what you will, but yeah. Okay. So this is the daily chart for Bitcoin. It's out of the large uptrend. If we have a look at the RSI on the daily, you've got a lower low in price, a higher low in the oscillator. We may potentially here, if this comes back down, get a lower low here and a higher low in the oscillator. So we've got one bull div. Are we going to get a second bull div? So this is something that we want to keep a close eye on. But let's move down into the 4-hour time frame so you can see this. So as you can see, I had this as a flat line before. I had it as like a horizontal ray from here because we were supported heavily in there. But now I've removed this and I've drawn the wedge pattern rather than the sort of triangle-like pattern. So this has actually got a bullish bias to it. So you'd like to think it's going to break towards the upside. And I will say, if we go to the 12-hour and we come out, this fractal here, or this sort of candle formation, is very similar to this. This fractal from here to here is very similar from here to here. There's not too much difference other than the huge flush out we had here, which was just simply because of too much over leverage and people buying in at the trend line. But yeah, this is something important to watch out for. We are actually getting decent candles here. Anything into the 45s is starting to be heavily bought. We'll have to see if it holds. But yeah, let's dip into everything a bit more. This is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. If I go to the 3 days and zoom out. So just to me, this is what gives me a lot of confidence that we will still see a season go ahead, an altcoin season go ahead. It's bounced off this horizontal support from there and there. We've got the bounce on the blue candle, yep. And this is a wedge-like pattern, or even like a pennant-like pattern, which breaks to the side that it was formed. So it was formed from an up move, and it'll break to an up move, which is when it's done, come down as a retest, and it might go again. But we're not past the highs or anything like that we saw in 2018. There's still potential for this to go a long way. And this is what gives me confidence that we're definitely not in a bear market. Because in a bear market, you see, we can still go into a bear market, but this really suggests otherwise. Because in the bear market times, and I got into this in 2017. So in 2018, 2019, I was still studying each evening, doing my normal life, but studying the crypto circle for 2 hours a night, whilst nobody else was about. And I saw that the alts, every time Bitcoin made a move, if Bitcoin went up, they wouldn't go up that much. If Bitcoin went down, they would bleed, literally would bleed. So whatever Bitcoin done, Bitcoin went up 10%, they would go up 3%. Bitcoin went down 10%, they'd go down 15%. So they were just absolutely bled. So this metric, this is it. So it's gone from there down to there. You had the alt season in the first 3 months of 2018, and it just came down. And at no point did we get any big price spikes up other than this little bit here. But at no point it just kept going down. So yeah, this is something that sort of really does keep my hopes alive for another bull run for us. And I'm noticing now that the alts just aren't bleeding in comparison. So, but yeah, let's have a look at Bitcoin. I've described it slightly. I've actually described a 4-hour. So we're still holding the yellow buy box, which again is good. But as I said on the daily, we want to get that bull div and see where we go. The orange box, as usual, was resistance. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. I'm not going to explain it twice. Okay. So Ethereum. Okay, this is a little bit looking a little bit complicated. I wouldn't play this box anymore, to be honest. It's for the orders that would have been there, which is where we filled initially. We got this nice rebound up there. But for this here, you're just in this downtrend channel, and it's almost like a wedge, other than this really dirty wick here. But you would have had a wedge coming across. So again, this could break the upside, but because of the on-chain data, I don't have lots of confidence in Ethereum. Just checking the stream is okay. I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. I wouldn't. So for now, Ethereum, I'm not interested in. I would become interested if it came all the way down to the bottom of the green box, but I wouldn't play the yellow, and I wouldn't play above the yellow anymore. I would think about filling orders again between 3.5 and 3.3, pretty much. I'd even let it come all the way down to 3.140. So I'd feel anywhere in there. Look for dollar cost average in there. Let's go through a few more of the charts. So I'm actually going to work on the daily just because some of these look really good. So Litecoin created a lower low in price. It's not done on wicks, by the way. This is done on candle bodies. So you got the lower low here, but not on the oscillator because this one wasn't lower than there. So no bull div, but we got the bull div there. And the chances are, if this goes slightly lower, then we'll get another bull div right at the line. So if you can then get above, claim the white horizontal resistance, flip it into support, you can then have a major breakout. Something else that was also really interesting on Litecoin. I mean, I've had to go into detail here, but that is some squeeze you're talking about there, having set this part here as the base. So you're getting, this is from 3 years ago, from February 17. We're now going into like February 22. So it's actually, sorry, it's 5 years ago. That was a terrible bit of maths by me. You're getting a really tight squeeze into it. You could see this. Yeah, this has got potential to go absolutely ballistic. But yeah, anyway, let's not get too caught up on this. But it's just something really interesting that I found. But so back to Litecoin. On the short term, let's go back to the daily. We need to see, though, another bull div formed, in my opinion. We actually don't because we already do have one. But it'd be even more strong to have a second one. And then a break above, white horizontal resistance, flip it into support, and then we can go. But let's see what we get. Solana filled our yellow box really nicely. In the last live stream, I was buying this at 150. I then think I sold at 169, so not great, but not terrible. And now we've created this new downtrend. You might get a move down into here. Again, fill the rest of the orders. I think it's going to be possible. Create a bull div, and then you might have the opportunity to go. Matic is just so bullish. It doesn't even want to come back. Like this box we haven't filled. I'd want to fill this box, create a downtrend line, move in here, come against it again, squeeze into the pinpoint, hold this sort of area of support. So you want to see wicks come in here, but no candle closures in there, and then we break out. Let me change that to red. Okay, ADA I'm not interested in. Link, out of every single one, Link is the one I like the most. So the all-time high was 3. This is the one. So I have de-risked slightly today at. I actually got the sort of Bitcoin at sort of 47.8 or something like that. I de-risked there, so I was quite lucky. But I will start adding to my bags now on these confirmations. So we got the breakout, but we couldn't get above the horizontal resistance. We've now come back, retested the trend line, and hopefully we get another bounce again. But we could even come down and form another bull div, because we have here, I think, 2. Sorry. So a lower low in price, higher low in the oscillator. Lower low in price, higher low in the oscillator. We could even get another lower, a lower low in price, higher low in the oscillator, right at the sort of the trend line that's been keeping it squeezed down, and it's been doing that since November the 10th. So you're talking maybe 5-6 weeks. That's quite a long time in crypto, especially with the altcoins. I can see the connection isn't great. I'm sorry about this. Can everyone just let me know if it's okay? I'll keep talking, but can you just let me know so I can peer back at the comments to see if it's okay? BNB, this has probably been the strongest coin out of everything. Bitcoin's gone from 68 down to 47, so done a 10, 20, 30 odd percent, yeah, just over about 35%, 33% retrace. This has gone from 670 down to 525. I mean, it's not too much better, but it's better than Bitcoin, and that's quite surprising, considering it's an altcoin, because usually everything would bleed more against Bitcoin. But yeah, BNB for now, I would keep my orders in this area here, and I would really pray that we can get a fill there, but I just don't know if we'll actually be able to. Sushi is another one that looks quite good. So again, out of the downtrend line. I mean, this is half. This is a good project, or it's a good DeFi project. It's gone from 13, 6 weeks ago, to now 5. So what have you lost there? You've lost like 65%, 60 odd percent of your money, and it's a good project. So I'd like to think even if we do get a bounce up in Bitcoin, and I'll show you another potential formation that we could get. Hang on, let me jot it down. So even if we do go into a bear market, and there's no definites that we will, and I don't even think the odds are in the favour of a bear market. I think they're still in the favour of another run in the bull market. But this on the breakout of Bitcoin, so I'm thinking Bitcoin could do something like this. It'll be a long trend line across, basically, but you've got a left shoulder, a head, create a right shoulder, and then we go down to like 30, and that's bear market. But that I don't think the odds of that happening are that high. I really don't. But even this is the most bearish formation we're probably going to get. But even if we do that, we're going to get a move up to 58 again. And in that move from there to there, from 58, the alts are going to absolutely explode. So I think you'll see something like Sushi. Like, say Bitcoin does that move from where it is now, 47 to 58. It goes and makes a 20 odd percent move. What's this going to do? This is going to go from probably here to approximately, I'd say at least 10. So you're looking at potentially doubling your money here. So this is why we're saying now, don't risk on now. Wait for the confirmations. Wait for it to get above here. Claim the horizontal resistance, flip it into support, build some, some strength and some momentum, and then hopefully we'll get a move up. At this moment in time, it's creating a bear flag and going down. But let's see what we get. AVAX has been an absolute monster. Starting to get out of the downtrend now as well. It's never filled the yellow box. It just shows the level of strength that's there. I'd say if you've got this, consider taking it. But again, this doesn't make me think we're in a bear market, because it wouldn't have this sort of strength in the bear market. I saw in 18 and 19 in that bear market, just alts didn't make these runs. But yeah, we'll have to see with it. Luna. Again, we didn't get the fill, which is really annoying. We did get the fill here on the 2K challenge. Oh, with regard to 2K challenge, basically, I think alts will hopefully just be at their bottom now. And if alts are at their bottom, there's no point me taking any further action on, because I know that the 2K challenge is down quite a lot. So what we will do is when we do get these confirmations on Chainlink Other coins as well, perhaps Sushi. Let's have a look at this one. Polkadot is another one. When we do get these confirmations, what we will do is we will move our assets from the spot account into the margin account. We will borrow against the assets, so it will be like a form of leverage or margin, but we'll use a low margin, so there'll be no stress or pressure on it. And we'll borrow some extra US dollars. With that US dollars, we'll go into these projects on their confirmations, and that will basically get us out of the mud really nicely, and we'll be all good basically. So Polkadot is forming support here. I think it's created like 10 bull divs now, I don't even know. On the daily, so we had a lower low, price, higher low on the oscillator, bull div. Lower low, higher low on the oscillator, bull div. Lower low, looking like if we can close about 25.30, 25.40, we'll get another one. Hopefully we use this line as the support, which is what we're doing. Maybe I should move it slightly higher, but we're using it as a trend line, and then we can go and turn this into support rather than resistance, like it's proven there twice. So again, DOT is in play. That's one we're keeping track of. Link is in play. Again, we're keeping track of that. Sushi is in play. We're keeping track of that, and so is Litecoin. Those are our 4. You don't need more than 4 to do really well out of all this. You just need to be patient, take your time, bide your time, wait for the right opportunity, wait for those confirmations to like really be more clear on the trade, and then we go for it. Curve is another one I've been saying I was adding to. I was adding to it in the 330s in there because I think we got the bull div there. Yeah, we got the bull div there. So I got it on this candle, hoping we were going to break out and engulf this one. We didn't get it, but we sort of got it in the other ones. I sold some at 375, I sold some at 410. I think I've got about 50% of my bag left. So yeah, I'll just see what happens with this. But if it starts coming down, I might cash out the rest. I'll have to see. So Sand, Mana, they're all just doing the same sort of thing, to be honest. They cover in the live stream, so I'm not going to go through them. Let's look at the big caps index. So again, let's go to 3 days. So this is the index that's made up of Ethereum, Cardano, Binance Coin, XRP, Solana, Polkadot, Chainlink, and Litecoin. And it's all weighted according to the market cap of that coin. So we can see here, this one, I'll be honest with you, is dominated very heavily by Ethereum. Ethereum is so much bigger in terms of market cap than anything else, that it provides such a big weighting. So I'll show you what it's like without Ethereum also. But you've got a breakout, a retest of the horizontal support of the all-time highs of this, and now you've got the bounce. This is not bearish. This does not say to me bear market. But you know, things can change. But I can't see it. I really can't. And even if it's the case, Bitcoin does do that move where it goes from 47 to 58. This is the alts will go ballistic in that time frame. So it'll be the same as 2017, where you had Bitcoin go and make its high to 19, come down to 8, move to 12, and then it sort of drifted away then. It was in that move from 8K to 12K after the fall from 19 that Ethereum had its run, and Ethereum went from something like $400 or $300 up to $1,500 in the space of like 2 weeks. So these things can have their run. Let's look at it without Ethereum. Again, we've got the same thing here, a breakdown of the wedge, which was going to happen, but we're looking like this. But we seem to have bounced off this support about there. Yeah, and let's basically see what we get. But at this moment in time, I'm not overly bullish. I'm not overly bearish. I would say... So I said I'd give you the odds of what I think will happen. So I think the odds of us breaking down here, wicking below to like 42s and then coming up are maybe... So we've got that situation and then a recovery. We've got the situation of it finding some sort of support here, or maybe even slightly lower, doing a move up to say 57, 58, and then coming back down again. So a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then collapse. So you've got that as a second situation. But in that situation, the alts will go crazy. So that will be good for us either way. The third situation is we recover here, we do similar to what we've done in this fractal here, and we go up. Similar to what we've done in this fractal here, and we go up. I mean, on the oscillator, you've got a hidden bull div. So you've got a higher high in price and a lower low in the oscillator. It gives the impression that there's underlying strength, but hidden strength that the normal trader doesn't know about. So I think those are the 3 situations. I think the situation of it doing this move from here and just going straight up, I'd say it's about 40%. I'd say it's about 40-50%. No, I wouldn't. I'd say about 35-40%. I'd say the move down into here, a quick recovery, and then up could be something like, if this first one was 35 and this one could be, I'd say this one would be 40, this one moving down here and up would be 40, and then the move of the head and shoulders and down is about 20%. So, but, you know, I'm guessing there. I'm just giving you my best take on it. At this moment in time, I don't have huge risk on in the market, but I'll wait for confirmations and then I'll start risking on again. So I'm just judging it as the days play out, seeing what we get. I'm not getting overly bullish because Twitter is getting bullish again. Yeah, we're just seeing how we play it, and we'll basically have to go from there. But obviously, I'll keep you guys all updated in the chat with what I think is going to happen, because we could easily go into another accumulation phase. So until sort of like February time, do something similar to this. That because there's a yellow box in here, as you know. So we could again do that, and then people will start saying, "Oh, it's going to break down. It's going to break down," and then it has it pop up again, exactly what it like it done there. So it's really hard to say at the moment. There's so much contrasting information. So the way to play it is to keep analysing this information, be risk off for now. So be 50-50 in your portfolio. I'm actually slightly deeper. I'm about 60, 65 to 30, 35. So I am actually slightly deeper risk on. But that would make sense with the two scenarios that are more bullish that I gave you guys. So that would make sense that I've got my portfolio positioned that way. But yeah, that's it for all of this. I will say a little bit about Boxing Boys. We have the NFT out, or they will have the NFT out. Sorry, I'm getting tired. They will have the NFT out. What we will do is we'll get the whitelist spots filled, because, you know, I'm going to come back to it, but I've got 12 notifications. It's probably the case that it's been filled already, but we're hoping to get more allocations. Yeah, I'll give you more updates on that as we go. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll do another live stream on that. It's 8 o'clock on a Friday night. I'm getting a little bit tired. Yeah, I'll come back to that on another stream basically. But there is a video on it already. So go into that NFT tab, go into my market updates tab, and you'll find that video. I think it's in the market updates tab actually. So go and have a look in there. If there's any questions, you know where I am. Just send me the questions over, and I'll go through it. If there's quite a few questions, I can do a sort of AMA on it in a sort of YouTube live stream, and we can go from there. But that's it. I'm done. Thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful for you. And it's been very difficult the last few weeks on the market. So I'm trying to give you all the information that's out there, breaking it down properly and working out our odds. And, let's just see how it goes. We're not too bullish. We're not too bearish. Let's see how it plays out. Cheers, guys. Have a nice weekend.